Tonight, Regina City Council debates what to do about helping Real and Economic Development Regina pay back pandemic wage subsidy loans. Also, who is responsible when people illegally dump on empty lots? Plus, a look at how a musical couple is bringing the rich tradition of Chinese opera to the province.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Wednesday, May 22nd, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. Good evening and thank you for watching. Regina City Council is set to make a $9 million decision that could affect the future of two municipal corporations. We take you now live to Regina City Hall. That's where our municipal affairs reporter Alexander Kwan is attending the meeting. Alex, what can you tell us about this big decision?
Well, Regina City Council is slowly making their way through their agenda, but they haven't actually gotten to the topic that we're most interested in. Now, on the agenda today are two reports. One is about Regina Exhibition Association Limited, or REAL, and the other is about Economic Development Regina. REAL operates the Mosaic Stadium and the Brandt Centre, but it might best be known by everyone as the organization that helped rebrand Tourism Regina to Experience Regina. Economic Development Regina is another municipal corporation. It's responsible for driving investment into the city. Now today, they're both requesting help from City Council in order to pay back roughly $9 million in funding to the federal government. Both organizations actually accessed that funding during the COVID-19 pandemic. It was meant to be an emergency wage subsidy so that businesses could stay open during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, it wasn't actually meant to be accessed by public employers, such as the City of Regina, but both Economic Development Regina and REAL thought they qualified, so they applied and received that funding. But a recent CRA audit actually found that shouldn't have happened at all. Now, both REAL and Economic Development Regina are being asked to pay back the money they received, plus interest.
Okay, so Alex, what are the options on the table?
So city staff have recommended that City Council bail out these two municipal corporations and that they pull money from their emergency reserve. Now, if that is approved, it would leave the emergency reserve in a lower financial state than you would normally want, but the other options aren't particularly great either. It's also key to kind of note that last week the city's executive committee discussed these two reports, and they actually voted to reject the recommendation by administration. We don't know why that decision was made, but we're expecting to find out later on when this actually comes up for discussion today. So, you know, the other options presented to council include not helping the municipal corporations. Now, that would mean those corporations would have to take on debt in order to pay back the wage subsidy. For Economic Development Regina, that would mean not being able to offer the certain programs that it wants to offer, and it may even actually have to come back to the City Council in order to ask for more funding later on in the year. For REAL, it gets a little bit more complicated. That municipal corporation is already carrying $17 million in debt, and the City of Regina is actually helping pay down that debt as well as help it out fund operations as well. So city staff have also made it really clear that REAL does not make enough money to actually ever pay back the wage subsidy on its own. So it does need the city's help in some way. If you're wondering who would be on the hook for that debt if REAL is unable to pay for it, it's actually the City of Regina, which is what makes this topic so interesting. One way or another, the City of Regina is going to be on the hook to help pay this debt. If it doesn't do it right now, it may be asked to do so in the future when these organizations come asking for more funding. Sam?
Thanks for this, Alex.
You're welcome.
CBC reporter Alexander Kwan live tonight at Regina City Hall. A Regina woman has been ordered by the city to clean up garbage on her property. Garbage she didn't put there. She says the city needs to do something about illegal dumping, but a frustrated neighbor says it's up to property owners to take care of their own spaces. Louise Big Eagle has more.
Don Thomas Cameron bought a property here in the Broders Annex neighborhood of Regina 4 years ago. Her goal was to earn some extra income, and she says things were great until the tenant stopped paying rent. Then she found out from neighbors it had become a squat house. 2 years ago, a fire forced her to knock down the house, making it an empty lot. Recently, Thomas Cameron got a notice from the city. It is ordering her to clean up the garbage piling up on that lot. But it wasn't her garbage. Someone dumped their flatbed trailer on her land.
They won't charge the trailer owner. They won't hold them responsible for the mess that they've made. My neighbors didn't report it to me. I don't drive by. I'll be honest, I just don't drive by because I figure it's an empty lot.
A spokesperson for Regina Police Service says illegal dumping is not a criminal offense, so typically it's not something police deal with. Thomas Cameron says she's been given until May 22nd, today, to clean up her lot. If not, the city will take care of it and send her the bill. A single mom and widower, she says she can't afford that cost. A neighbor who lives across the street is frustrated. Ron Ryder has lived there for 15 years.
When this was a vacant lot, if the weeds were 4 feet tall, people lived in it. If you mowed it, if you maintained it, people avoided it. They wouldn't even walk on the grass when it was short.
He says derelict properties are becoming a problem around Regina. Ryder is concerned about the people who become squatters in those homes, particularly in his neighborhood.
But it does make it frustrating to live here when you have junkies that will use this as a junkie superhighway as opposed to sidewalks and streets. And when they're doing that, they're also sticking their heads in people's yards. And the way goes bicycles and barbecues and pretty much anything portable or of value. From aluminum rims off your vehicle to the copper pipes out of that house.
A spokesperson for the city of Regina says owners of vacant lots are more susceptible to illegal dumping than occupied properties. The city recommends fencing, motion lights, or cameras to deter people from dumping on vacant lots. Thomas Cameron cleared out the garbage and the flatbed trailer over the May long weekend. She says now she will figure out how to prevent this from happening again. Louise Big Eagle, CBC News, Regina.
If you're in Saskatoon and asked to swap your garbage bin for a smaller one, the city says you will get it soon. Almost 11,000 have already been switched out, and if yours hasn't yet, the city says to roll out your existing cart before 7 in the morning on garbage day, and to make sure to leave it out until at least 6 in the evening. The cart swap window closes June 15th. The second round of cart swaps begin July 8th. The Saskatchewan Roughriders were back on the turf at Griffith Stadium in Saskatoon for their second week of training camp today. The Green and White hosted the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in their first preseason game at Mosaic Stadium on Monday, and the team walked away with a 25-12 win. And fans got an early look at starting quarterback Trevor Harris, the first time since last July when he literally broke his knee in a game against Calgary. The team is back on the road Friday for the second and final preseason tilt in Edmonton this weekend. Training camp 2024 is officially done June 1st. Meanwhile, the Saskatoon Berries took their training camp inside today. The team moved into the Gordie House Sports Complex indoor training facility as they get ready for their first games. The team heads to Regina this weekend to face the Red Sox, and their inaugural home opener at Cairns Field is next Tuesday. The Jim Pattison Children's Hospital Foundation and USask are joining forces to try to improve children's health, and they're doing it with a $2 million investment to create Pediatric Research Fund at the College of Medicine. Through their partnership, the fund will support the work of Dr. Terry Klassen, the newly appointed provincial pediatric department head. The money comes from the foundation over 5 years, and the president of the University of Saskatchewan says this kind of research funding will help keep Canada a talent magnet for specialists from around the world.
I'm sure this hospital benefits from that. Certainly the university does as well. But my point leading from those is that the extent to which we can work together and make the whole greater than the sum of the parts is extremely important, and I see this announcement as being that kind of occasion. So I really thank all of the people in this room and beyond it who are responsible for bringing us all together.
It shows how important this is, and I do think that not only has Saskatchewan been perhaps the seat of medicine, the home of Medicare, but I think there's so much more to be coming down the pipe for us. I think to be proud of seeing a wonderful children's hospital here in Saskatoon, but so much more that I think that is coming our way. And we're going to be talking a little bit about that tomorrow. There's going to be another healthcare-related announcement where I think Saskatchewan can again be a leader.
Hindley says this research will not only benefit children, but also the future medical providers of our province. The Jim Pattison Children's Hospital Foundation is a provincial charity. It raises awareness and money for pediatric medical research, equipment, patient care services, and the Children's Hospital in Saskatoon. A shortage of dermatologists across Canada is adversely impacting when people can be screened for skin cancer. With cases of melanoma on the rise, especially among older Canadians, experts believe it increases the risk to patient lives. Yvette Brent looks at what's being done.
I've had 4 melanomas removed from my head.
Bruce Ballingall has lost much of the skin on his skull to cancer.
I have 5 brothers, and all 6 of us have some type of skin cancer.
Mole mobile nurse Faye Youssef used a scope to screen his chest.
Looking at them, they do appear a little bit scaly and red.
Nobody warned me even about it until it was too late. And now I know all about it, and that's why I'm here to help convince people the sun will kill you if you let it.
He's eager for this charity-run mobile cancer screening van to drive to Kamloops, where his brother has waited for a dermatology appointment for a year and a half.
There's no dermatologist in Kamloops, apparently. So when this unit gets there, people will be able to get checked out.
Canada has only 770 dermatologists, mostly in urban parts of the country. 290 in Ontario, 96 in BC, 12 in Saskatchewan, and only 1 in PEI. This according to the Canadian Dermatology Association.
I don't have the perfect solution, but I think it goes with training more, retaining more.
He says Canada loses dermatologists to retirement or better paying jobs, often in cosmetic clinics.
It does pay that much more, yes. I'm a primary researcher, so I do skin cancer research. I think about skin cancer all the time, and I'm capped according to a provincial billing, which is among the lowest specialists in the province.
Meanwhile, melanoma can spread in months. So this Montreal woman was frantic to find a specialist. That took months, but only minutes for the doctor to flag a mole on her back and remove it. 8 weeks later, cancer was confirmed.
It knocked the breath out of me, honestly. I knew that something was wrong. It's not normal to have a pimple or a mole that's going to basically disrupt your whole day.
She is relieved her skin cancer was caught in time, but worries about others who aren't so lucky. Yvette Brent, CBC News, Vancouver.
Another cool, cloudy, breezy day across much of Saskatchewan, but those sunny breaks sure make things look real pretty. Looks like things will start to warm up for the weekend and into next week. Thanks to a short work week, we are already looking toward the back half of this week, and Ethan will have your forecast after the break. Stay with us. Wicked weather is storming across the U.S. with a trail of destruction stretching from Oklahoma to Minnesota. More than 20 tornadoes have been reported, witnesses saying a monster twister hit the town of Greenfield, Iowa. Authorities confirm there have been multiple deaths with at least a dozen people hurt. Baseball-sized hail has also been reported in Oklahoma, and more than 30 centimeters of rain caused flash flooding in Nebraska. The storm system's moving south and east, threatening Texas to New York.
This weather update is brought to you by Titan Automotive, proud member of the Capital Automotive Group.
Well, a cooler day in Saskatchewan, but nothing like that here, Ethan.
No kidding. And thankfully, we haven't seen any impacts like they have down in the States. That's same storm system, though, bringing some rain and, yes, some snow to portions of northwestern Ontario. And Well, we've got a little bit of snow in our province. Buffalo Narrows actually reporting a little bit of light snow just before 7 o'clock this morning, really making it not feel like May 22nd. Regina, early this morning, we had no visibility at times because of fog, and our temperature in Regina this morning actually dropping below the freezing mark. It was colder here than it was way up north in Uranium City by about 4 degrees or so. The far north of the province, some of the nicest weather in Saskatchewan today, with mostly sunny skies, with temperatures into the mid-teens, about bang on seasonal this time of year. You notice things are warming up in the southeast, but it's right in the middle of the province where we continue to languish in these very chilly temperatures. Saskatoon, this is the second day in a row now where we didn't get above 10 degrees for a daytime high, and many of us kind of sitting in that 10 to 15 degree range for the most part. Not as much moisture in the province today as there was yesterday, but you can see how that cloud cover just kind of envelops most areas again, except for the very far north, Uranium City, Stony Rapids, Fond du Lac areas. This unsettled pattern going to be the theme as we go forward here over these next couple of days, at least until the weekend probably. Overnight tonight, just mostly some cloud with possible fog once again. Temperatures cold enough that we could get frost in spots once more. Heading into tomorrow, another chance of pockets of showers through much of the province again. Early Friday morning, that could turn into some snow showers in parts of the Churchill region. Friday, yes, again, sun and cloud, mostly cloudy through the Churchill region, sprinkles here and there. But you see this low pressure system, this is the next weather maker moving into Manitoba. That could spill into eastern sections of the province for early Saturday. But as of now, it looks like we're going to avoid it. So generally amounts probably in the 1 to 3 millimeter range over these next couple of days. I think this is highly dependent on shower and thunderstorm activity if you're in the Estevan area. But up around Lloydminster, we could pick up maybe 5 to 10 millimeters of rain. Fog again could be developing, as I mentioned, so just watch for those visibilities dropping, especially in the early morning hours and as you head out on your commute tomorrow. But as I mentioned yesterday, past couple of days and going forward here, we've mostly avoided the wind. With that next system moving into Manitoba, southeastern Saskatchewan could pick up some gusty conditions here and there. For Regina, though, tomorrow, pretty much just copy today's forecast into tomorrow before we see a little bit of clearing for Saturday. Possible showers Sunday. There's the return to the 20s with some wind for early next week. And for Saskatoon, mostly cloudy, less of a chance of showers for you tomorrow, but we may not break double digits once more before things start to rebound. And that 25 with sunny conditions on Tuesday, Sam, going to feel real nice.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ethan.
You're welcome.
We're back with more news after the break. A musical couple is bringing the rich tradition of Chinese opera to our province. David Ling and Jenny Lee have been staging opera performances in Regina for decades, but the pandemic brought those to a halt. Now they've brought back those rehearsals and opera lovers are embracing the music. Florence Wong brings us more.
A Chinese princess unhappy with her husband captivates an audience in Saskatchewan. And behind the scenes, a real-life husband and wife celebrate the moment. Making this Chinese opera come to life was a dream that began many years earlier. When David Ling was just a boy growing up in China, his mom played piano, his dad the violin, and he attended a school where his talent was quickly recognized. Ling and his wife Jenny Lee moved to Canada in 1981, and they brought with them their love of Chinese culture and opera. And Ling landed a job fixing instruments at a Regina music store. At their house, the couple has a collection of more than 100 costumes. Lee models one with embroidered phoenixes, which represent royalty and power. Through these costumes, the couple can trace their musical journey in Regina. In the 80s, they began receiving requests to perform at Chinese cultural events, including Mosaic Festival and Lunar New Year. Then in 1991, the Regina Chinese Benevolent Society asked them to form a group to teach people Chinese opera.
越己越群同歡樂，即係你自己中意呢樣嘢，你自己中意，咁你去表演，啲群眾大家中意，咁大家一齊，咁大家 happy。
Winnie Chung was one of the original members. She grew up watching Chinese operas with her parents in Hong Kong, but admits she knew little about how to sing opera.
We just try to find the hobby you like, you know, that is just for the healthy life, and sing a song, you will forget about trouble. Life is tough, so got to move on, but music will help you.
The opera group gained momentum and popularity. Up to 100 people put on 3-hour-long productions based on Chinese folklore. These elaborate costumes, along with sets and a live orchestra, would teleport people back to ancient China. The operas were halted by the pandemic.
咁啊，一聽見感覺好熟悉，就感覺記得鄉下啲嘢咁有種共鳴咁。
But Ling was determined to keep it going.
因為感覺自己學到啲嘢應該 share 係咪？即係自己識啲嘢可以俾大家睇下咁，即係可以交流下咁。
Now they've regrouped. It's a relief for those who count on the group for social interaction. And for Jenny Lee and David Ling, who see Chinese opera as being a connection to their past, they hope to carry forward into the future. Florence Huang, CBC News, Regina.
You think you can do the weather in an operatic tone?
People would turn off the TV pretty quickly, or whatever they're watching on, I'll tell you that. I will tell you this, you might turn off the TV because this is kind of weather deja vu. We're looking for frost and fog again tonight in Regina. Temperature probably going to drop to 3 degrees or so overnight. Could be some lingering fog by the morning, mostly cloudy skies. Another chance of some showers tomorrow as we head to a temperature of around 10 degrees by the noon hour in Regina. Pretty similar in Saskatoon, might drop near freezing, frost and fog possible, and still by the morning. I think we're going to see a little more cloud cover by the afternoon, though, in Saskatoon, as we see mostly cloudy skies and maybe some showers. But weather that's music to our ears, Sam, will come a little bit later on.
I was waiting for a pun. Thanks, Ethan.
You're welcome.
And that is it for us tonight. For news anytime, you can always head to cbc.ca/sask, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or download the CBC News app. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night.